Let's get Stephen A's whole perspective on this whole thing. Because Stephen A was very close to Skip, right? Let's see what Stephen A had to say about this.
I have to get started with this subject because we all know that anytime you mention Skip Bayless, most folks want to hear what I have to say. And that's where we're going to get started because it's sports media news, which makes it apropos. And it involves a recent lawsuit filed against Fox Sports, and several people, including my buddy Skip Bayless, my former colleague at ESPN. The suit filed by
Are they still buddies? Are they still buddies?
a woman named Nasheen Faraji, a former hairstylist for the company, cites several instances of workplace misconduct, okay? The 42-page, that's right, 42-page suit names several defendants, including Fox Sports Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon and even host Joy Taylor. Faraji alleges Dixon grabbed her buttocks at a birthday party, and when she relayed the encounter to Taylor, the Fox host allegedly told her to, quote, get over it, end quote. As for Skip Bayless, Faraji says he touched her inappropriately and propositioned her for sex, offering her $1.5 million, end quote. I'll get to Tori and her thoughts on for a second. First things first, let me tell you why I had to cover this. Number one, it's news. Number two, I was just on the air a few weeks ago and took some heat for the fact that I pointed out that I've been friends with Jay-Z for 25 years. And I know nothing about what happened, no intimate details. Certainly can't be irresponsible and not try to interfere with a legal matter, a lawsuit. But in the same breath, I didn't think it was a crime to point out that the person that I've known for 25 years, I've never seen somebody that would be capable of that, with that meaning that person that I was around for 25 years. The same applies to Skip Bayless.
Stephen A has been consistent on this, and I got to give him credit. I give Stephen A lot of flack on a lot of things, but I got to give him credit. Stephen A. Smith has been consistent, as I have. Same thing. I was consistent when I said that all of these accusations against Jay-Z is wild. And we got to be careful with that. The only reason I started bringing Joy Taylor to the front of the congregation, which now it's a lot of people that's actually substantiating the argument that was in the room, is because I felt like it was hypocritical that a lot of people gave her a pass when they didn't give everybody else a pass that came before her. Any man that got accused, they automatically said, believe all women, he guilty. But when Joy Taylor came, everybody said, shh, mind your business. And it shows the hypocrisy in our society and also the privilege that a lot of women get. And that I think that Joy is going to land on her feet and Skip Bayless is going to be lepers. Joy is going to land on her feet and people are just going to be like, hey, that's just what women do. And Skip Bayless is going to be a leper. But more importantly, the worst thing about Joy Taylor was the potential allegation that said that she would say or she would use her woman's privilege and say that he touched her inappropriately or he made, did something against the will of her if she ever was to lose her job or get pushed out. Maybe that's why she's been on air for so long.
Now, I don't know what happened. I don't work at Fox. I worked at Fox from 2001 to 2003. I haven't been there. I haven't been in that building in over 20 years. I don't know any details or anything like that. And I'm not here to castigate Ms. Faraji or anybody else. I don't know Charlie Dixon that well, even though he used to work, at ESPN. I don't know Joy Taylor that well. Even though she and I have interacted with one another on several occasions.
Said Anton, you got to hear Marcellus Wiley's take on it. Let me see something.
Your call has been forwarded to voicemail. The person
I got Marcellus's number. I'll call him. Maybe I'll even get him on the show. You know what? We might do a live stream together. Let me let the rest of this player see if Stephen A got anything else to say.
occasions throughout her career, and I find her to be a consummate professional, very good at what she does, very capable, very knowledgeable about the world of sports
He on the
and
West
what have you.
Coast. I know
I
he on
also
the West Coast, so it's 7:30 on the West Coast, right?
know that she's big on women empowerment, so it's hard to imagine her saying get over it. But again, I don't know. But we all know that when you see Stephen A. Smith with a subject like this and the name involves Skip Bayless, that's what you want to know about. And here's what I would tell you. I don't know what happened. But just like I said, I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I can't imagine that. I've known Skip for just as long. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Especially when they brought up the $1.5 million. The Skip Bayless I know has a hard time giving away $15.
Which is one of the reasons why you have to start giving pause, because it's like, that's a crazy number. That's a crazy number. Stephen A. Smith says, listen, man, Skip Bayless and the picture that he just had over here. This picture right here, you know how I know that Skip Bayless is cheap? You know how I know that Skip Bayless is cheap? Because most people, especially Skip Bayless's age, would go out and they would buy a Ferrari or they would get some hypercar. Now, I'm not saying that a Chevy Corvette is not a stout car. It is one of the best cars on the road today. One of the best cars on the road today. But very few people like Skip Bayless will be taking, like only a Skip Bayless will take a picture in front of a Corvette as a multi-millionaire, as a person that has probably made over $100 million in his life. Only a Skip Bayless will pick a car that's under $100,000 and take a picture in it like, ha ha. That's the type of person that Skip Bayless seems to be. And Stephen A is basically saying, listen, Skip ain't even giving you $50. You telling me he offered 1.5 million? Okay.
See, and irresponsible for people who don't know to act like they do know. But in the same breath, I also feel it's important that if you know people or you think you know people and you've had a long-standing relationship with those people, that it's not a crime for you to say the person that I know, the person that I've been around, the person that I worked with in his case, for 4 straight years from 2012 to 2016, doing First Take every weekday morning at 10 a.m. to 12 noon. The person that I knew since our days at Fox Sports when we would appear on Jim Rome's show.
Or maybe maybe the play for Skip Bayless was, I'm going to say a number. That don't necessarily mean that's what you're going to get. Listen, I know, guys, you know what we call that over here in Detroit? Well, I'm in Vegas right now, but you know what we call that in Detroit? We call that selling wolf tickets. Selling wolf tickets. When you tell a chick, yeah, man, listen, I got you, baby. I got you. I'm gonna send it to you. That don't necessarily mean that that's what's gonna happen. Y'all see, listen, y'all think y'all might have been I might have been interpreting this wrong. If it did happen, he may have threw a number out there just because he wanted to really get the box and try to have one up on Shannon Sharp. It don't necessarily mean that that's what Skip might not have been trying to give nothing. Skip might have just told her a number. That seems more realistic. Maybe the story is true, but maybe the context is Skip was like, man, I just said that. It just sounded good at the time. I know guys that give wolf tickets out all day long. All day long. He was just seeing what her threshold was. You know what? She a single mother. She says she having problems with cancer. 1.5 seemed like a good number. He might have just threw it out there just to see what was happening. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, the last word and stuff like that, and we were in the same Fox building off of Pico Boulevard and Avenue of the Stars. The person that I've seen that really, really trusts almost no one and doesn't expose himself to anybody, eating the same breakfast and lunch every day. His vice is a diet Mountain Dew, and he doesn't socialize with people. That's the guy I know. So imagining him being in this kind of position is shocking to say the least.
Guys lie
All
all the
I could
time.
tell you is that it's not the Skip Bayless I know. But obviously, this is a legal matter he's going to have to deal with because this situation doesn't appear to be going away. A lawsuit has been filed. This person who's a hairstylist, the people that I've spoken to in the last 24 hours that have some knowledge about her says that she's the kind of person that she's meticulous with her details and she's going to chronicle things and that's how she operates. I don't know her. I don't know them. I know Skip. And I'm very, very heartbroken that he finds himself in this situation, being accused of these allegations. But I can't be over the airways being irresponsible and attaching truth or innocence, or guilt to anything that I know nothing about. All I can say, and I don't think it's a crime to say, is just like I said with Jay-Z, the person that I've known for 25 years, I've never seen anything like that from that person.
Well, I'm glad that all of his friends is actually holding him down because a lot of people would turn on you. I seen Dave Portnoy over there at Barstool Sports. He said that this is false against Skip Bayless and this is nonsense. Stephen A is saying that it's nonsense about Skip Bayless. Nobody has ever said anything about Skip Bayless. Is it true? We don't know. Did he highball her? Maybe, but we got to wait and see what happens and what the details are because unlike Joy Taylor, a lot of people are coming out and saying, nah, listen, you can say a lot of things about Skip. You can say that you didn't necessarily like him. You can say that you didn't necessarily care for him, but you can't say that he didn't ever offer a woman money for box. That's what everybody is saying.